According to maritime laws, the maximum number of passengers allowed on board a ship is comparable to the maximum number of people allowed at a social gathering. Simply put, there needs to be 8 square feet of space per individual, so if you are planning to invite 100 people to a party, the room must have at least 800 square feet of space. This is difficult for some people to envision, so a draftsman would create an illustration to demonstrate the concept. Drafting is a form of communication, whereas if you were told to draw a box, you might show a cube like this. A draftsman has to let the manufacturer know how much material is needed, so he would draw a box like this. Therefore, to communicate the square footage required per person, the draftsman would draw people lying down to make it easy to convert the numbers, visually. A rectangular space, 6 feet long by 16 inches wide would represent the 8 square feet allotted to each person. This slave ship diagram was drawn specifically to demonstrate those calculations. These illustrations were never meant to describe the actual living conditions on board. Just as a room, filled to maximum legal capacity allows plenty of space to move around or sit comfortably at a party, a ship, filled to maximum legal capacity, allows plenty of space to move around as well. The actual conditions during the voyage look more like these paintings. Movies tend to depict the slaves shackled below to mimic the illustration shown previously. How then, were they supposed to be fed? Hollywood typically shows a crewman walking down the center aisle, passing out cups of rice to the slaves. But as you can see, there is no center aisle in the first illustration. And if a ship had 250 slaves, it would take 16 gallons of rice to give each man just 1 cup. Trying to carry 16 gallons of rice through a dimly lit hull, stepping over human bodies would be an impossible task. So it is not to be believed. Some may argue that the slaves were treated like animals. But you wouldn't keep your horses locked in the barn while you tried to plow your field by hand. So instead of keeping them locked below, healthy slaves would be given tasks aboard the ship, such as cooking, serving meals, cleaning, pulling sails, or even keeping watch for hostile vessels. This diagram of a slave ship's maximum capacity has led to just one of the many misconceptions we will cover in this look back at the history of the United States. I will also attempt to explain why we have been misled.